7:30 p.m. kickoff on Tuesday is the other MAC game. Buffalo at Ohio at Frank Solich Field. The Bobcats are 3-point home underdogs in this one. Over-under of 58.5. How do you see this one, Brett?
Well, this is exciting because this is a battle for the MAC East. Buffalo is currently undefeated in MAC play at 4-0, and Ohio's 3-1 right behind them. Buffalo made a statement not too long ago against Toledo that they are the best team in the MAC. They thumped them. And the better part, Toledo has a just prolific quarterback, Daquan Finn. He didn't play last week. But against Buffalo, he threw 4 picks. They forced him into throwing 4 picks, and he is probably the most talented quarterback in the MAC, which right now, don't look now, but we got some quarterback talent in the MAC. A couple guys are injured, but one of those quarterbacks is playing for Ohio. It's Curtis Rourke. He is the younger brother of Nathan Rourke, who exceeded, I think he plays in the Canadian Football League now, but he exceeded at OU for a long time. And Curtis Rourke is having one heck of a season. I think one of the most improved players in the entire FBS because he had a disastrous last couple of years. This year, he's thrown 16 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and he's 10th nationally in passing yards. Spreads the ball out all over the place. 4 wide receivers on Ohio all have over 300 yards on the season. And if we're looking at aggregate ranking or ratings, favors Buffalo by about 4.5 on the road. So that's over that 3 mark there. The line actually opened at 2.5. It moved down to 1.5. And now it's moving through 3. So again, key betting figure, keep an eye on that. That's a very important number if it moves off of it. The Buffalo defense is almost certainly the best MAC defense that Ohio has seen all season. So that's tough. And the Bulls are really good in the red zone. They're a 93% red zone conversion rate. That's one of the tops in the nation. And 69% of those trips have resulted in touchdowns. So they're an effective team when they get inside the goal, the red zone. They typically score the ball. And because they're dealing with a talented quarterback and a very good red zone offense, I know their defense is pretty good. I kind of like the over here. If you look at the offenses that Buffalo has held to few points this season, we're talking UMass, probably the worst team in the nation. Bowling Green, just conductor of the struggle bus on offense. Miami, who is down Brett Gabbert, their leading quarterback. And Toledo, where they forced Daquan Finn to throw 4 interceptions. I'm not betting on Curtis Rourke to throw 4 interceptions in this game. I think it goes back and forth. 58.5 isn't some crazy number that we haven't seen Maction hit. So I think I'm going to take the over here.
All right. And you mentioned the live movement. Just a refresher for the novice bettors out there. When you have a game with line movement going in different directions throughout the week, you mentioned that the early movement was on Ohio to get this under 3, and then we have closer to kickoff, the movement going back towards Buffalo to get back to the key number of 3, maybe going through that 3. Generally speaking, we care more about the line movement closer to kickoff because the limits are raised at that point. There are bigger dollar bets that are moving that number more so than earlier in the week when the limits were lower. Fair?
Yeah, and sometimes there's a strategy in place where pro bettors will bet these games early to move the number a little bit while they have the low totals and they put a little bit of money on that. They move the line and then they come back stronger on the other side with higher limits and higher bets. And those are the ones you want to pay attention to. So that's why I'm not betting a side here because, the power ratings tell me Buffalo should be favored and the market's telling me Buffalo should be favored. That's why I kind of like the point total here as opposed to a side.